I just, and I was thinking, and I got a little distracted with Molly's thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask, like, how long have you been following Dre McCray? Because people that have reached out to me have followed her for years.
Yeah, I have followed her since 2016 for sure. I don't know the exact month, but I remember the exact video that I, first ever saw her in, and it was the one where she was showing Monistat anti-chafing gel, how to use it as primer.
You followed her before she quote unquote blew up, because my understanding of Dre McRae's history was she got into the makeup stuff, and that's really where her following took off, right? So you were way before any of that.
Yeah, I think when I started watching her, I think her videos got like 300 or 400 like people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not a ton.
When I was hearing Molly right now talking about and describing Dre McCray, not only that, but like other people that kind of jumped into the story, not necessarily knowing her history, it sounds to me like it's almost like they've been invited into her family home. Well, more so uninvited by a video, and then the picking and the nitpicking happens. So how she talks to Raza, how she treated X, Y, and Z people, how she cooks, the way she swings the knife, and all that other. I mean, it seems like the excessive amount of picking and critiquing her, it kind of demonizes her, period, right? And I'm not trying to bring a different light, but that's how I've seen it. Because I've seen the other videos where I'm like, well, that brings a little bit more context with her flailing the knife, the knife, one of the knives or something.
Actually, the whole thing with her flailing the knife, it's OG followers of Dre would seriously just laugh so hard at that, because that's been something that she's done for years, and it's an inside joke with her followers. Mm-hmm. It just is, because Dre is a little bit of hood with, religion. And yeah, exactly.
Because I'm like, I hear God, I'm gonna say it in Spanish, but I can't say it. Jehovah.
Yeah.
In Spanish we say Jehovah. So so it's a different way. It's spelled the same but different. And I hear her say that, and then I hear the knife flailing, right? So then it kind of like, how did she figure that to be her personality, if that makes sense?
I just remember this, ever since I first started watching her, the knife was kind of a joke. Like, she would say something like being sarcastic or just talking about something funny, and she would like wave the knife around, like, and a lot of the time she did it, I feel like maybe it did have something to do with like joking about being jealous. So then people turn that into, oh my God, she's so controlling. She's so, and I never felt like she was super controlling of like Bonnie, or I felt like it was just jokes, and people took that and turned it into, she's a psycho waving a knife around on a live video. But like I said, OG followers of Dre just laugh about that, because it's been a joke forever. And I actually remember a couple of years ago, she had to stop doing it because Facebook kind of like flagged her for it and said like, hey, you can't do that. So then it became an even more inside joke, because the knife would hardly ever come out and she would just eat with it. But then we would still use the emojis and stuff, because like we knew that it was like a big inside joke from years ago,
She made the knife into the emojis. I do remember that. She even had the Raza show, giving Raza like however much time and attention, he wanted to take from her followers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let me scale back, because I know we just kind of hit the ground running, okay? Advocating for Dre McRae.
Yeah, for sure.
In so many ways. But I also feel the other side of that. And I want to be able to play the devil's advocate here. And also be respectful of Letitia, because I don't know Letitia, and I don't know if you know her personally. So I think it's warranted, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Even though Dre McCray has been dragged in so many ways, right?
Yeah.
So let's start there. What so you started following her in 2016. Were there any time in that time frame that you were concerned for the children's safety, for Vaughn's safety, for anybody?
Never. So I wanted to come into this and just be honest, because that's just me.
Yeah.
I will say, maybe a year ago, I was noticing, they were losing weight, and they were open about that, very open about it.
Yeah.
I was looking at Vaughn, and I was thinking, like, dang, he's losing a lot of weight. Like I feel like Dre kind of got maybe back to her size around the time, like, before she started having issues with her, like, thyroid and Hashimoto's disease and stuff.
Yeah.
Because she was thinner, and then she put on some weight, and then she got it back off. So, it's shocking to people now that see her, of course, that discovered her when she was bigger. But I feel like Dre is pretty much back down to her body type before she got ill.
Yeah.
For Vonnie, I felt like he didn't look healthy. That is the one and only concern I've ever had over the years watching Dre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he looked a little too thin, maybe. And I chalked that up to, well, he's ill in my head,
Yeah.
Because he's been struggling with seizures, and they addressed it, but they didn't go too deep into that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Haley, you said something right now. You said before they got ill, and in terms of for Dre, it would have been the thyroid, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, Hashimoto's disease and fibromyalgia are the main two that are coming to mind right now.
Okay. That she is openly shared.
Yes, very openly, yeah.
Do you feel like the lifestyle change in terms of the dieting might have impacted a little bit of the mental health? There might have been a component to that maybe a lot of people didn't necessarily catch on to right away?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
And this isn't a dig at Dre, right? Like, I think that those are two very important. How do you say this? How can you holistically look at health if you don't, like, add the mind and the body together, right? Like, you can't be super healthy in the body and not have the other one. Like, you'd have to have both of them together. I see that as a holistic, right?
Right. Yeah, looking at everything as a whole over the years, in my opinion, I feel like that is the only explanation of what transpired in May.
Yeah.
I know in my heart that Dre would never purposely cause physical harm to her family or cause illness to her husband or, her children, neglect them or starve them, or there's so many crazy allegations. Like, I might not even know about all of them seriously.
They've made so many. I mean, it's been so many that have been made that the police report doesn't necessarily address it when they went to the home. Okay. What do you need, honey? Can you let me? I already given you gum earlier.
What do you need?
You got yours and I got mine.
My kid's standing in front of me staring at me, waiting for me to ask.
Well, and here's the deal, Haley. We're both addressing our children. Kind of like how Dre would address her children.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if he's just asked me if he can have some gum and I said no, not right now because you already had gum earlier. Like, how much of that would have been taken out of cut? I mean, it could be, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's been hard to watch, honestly.